We are styling outfits inspired by the most iconic designers of all time. Hello, I'm Koshani, and in today's video we will be diving deep into the world of fashion and learning about 5 of the most renowned and iconic designers of all time. Plus, I'll be styling outfits inspired by their style, signature designs, their inspiration behind their creation, or simply recreation of their most popular runway looks. Just a little disclaimer, all of the information that I'll be sharing today is drawn from articles or Wikipedia, and all of the styling is purely done from whatever I had in my own closet, so feel free to share your opinions. And now, grab your coffee or matcha and let's get started. We are starting off with Coco Chanel. We have all heard about Chanel, but how many of us really know the history behind it? Well, Coco Chanel was a French fashion designer and businesswoman, the founder and namesake of the brand Chanel. She is the only fashion designer listed on Time magazine's list of the 100 most influential people of the 20th century. Her design aesthetic redefined the fashionable woman in the post-World War I era. The classic Chanel look was all about ease, freedom, and elegance, something youthful, sportive, and confident, but also very practical and wearable. Now about the outfit, we will be incorporating some of her signature designs while drawing inspiration from these runway looks. The first piece we are adding is the LBD, or Little Black Dress. Although she did not design the very first Little Black Dress, Coco Chanel was the one who made it widely popular and desirable when she introduced it in 1996 in the pages of Vogue. The timing was also important. This was during the Great Depression when simple, affordable fashion was essential. She designed the dress for women who were stepping into the workforce and needed something timeless, elegant, and practical that they could wear to work without worrying about trends. So to match that, we are starting off with a white shirt to give that workwear vibe. Then I'm layering a black t-shirt and a black skirt to make it look like a black dress since I don't have one that quite matches the theme. Next design we have are the Chanel pearl necklace. The pearl necklace was Coco Chanel's most iconic piece, earning her the nickname of the Queen of Gems. Chanel purposely designed her necklace using fake pearls because the real ones were a rarity and very expensive, so people were too afraid to wear them out. I pulled out whatever pearl jewelry I could find in my closet and added them as bracelets, necklace, waist chain, rings, and earrings. Our signature piece that we will be incorporating is the Chanel 2.55 bag. The first time Gabrielle Coco Chanel introduced her iconic 2.5 bag was in 1929. Before Chanel's masterpiece, women's bags were designed to be carried by a top handle or as a clutch. But she had the idea to add a shoulder strap inspired by the straps found on soldiers' bags. I got fed up with holding my purses in my hands and losing them, so I added a strap and carried them over my shoulder. That was what Chanel once said about her creation. So we are also adding a black and gold bag similar looking to the Chanel 2.55 bag. Lastly, to finish up, I added some high boots and a hat with a ribbon wrapped around it, and this is our finished Chanel inspired look. Our next designer is Vivienne Westwood. She was an English fashion designer and businesswoman, largely responsible for bringing modern punk and new wave fashion into the mainstream. In 2022, Sky Arts ranked her the 4th most influential artist in Britain of the last 50 years. Westwood was one of the architects of the punk fashion phenomenon of the 1970s, saying, "I was messianic about punk, seeing if one could put a spoke in the system in some way." Westwood's boutique, originally managed with McLaren, was a meeting place for early members of the London punk scene. Her designs were independent and often represented a statement of her own. Coming to the outfit, we are playing around with her signature style and pieces, starting off with her signature graphic t-shirts. Perhaps more than any designer, Westwood used clothes as a tool to communicate her political, environmental, and social beliefs. Her love for the graphic tee came from its simplicity. It was both a clean canvas for design and a bold platform for messaging. I'm adding this purple graphic tee also because she really loved playing with colors, often colors that did not conventionally go together. Next up we have plaids. Vivienne Westwood had a deep love for tartan. It wasn't just a print, it was a statement. Tartan has a long and complex history often associated with rebellion, identity and resistance. It became a symbol of freedom which made it the perfect fabric for Westwood's unconventional and anti-establishment designs. She reimagined traditional Scottish patterns and silhouettes in bold unexpected ways, mixing heritage with punk and royalty with rebellion, often incorporating kilts, tailored plaid suits, and exaggerated drapes inspired by her fascination with the Scottish history and style. To reflect that, in this look, I am adding a plaid skirt, and since she loved using safety pins and playing with volume, we are pinning the sides to create more texture and shape while also layering a black skirt underneath to add the extra depth. Next up, we are adding a corset, which was one of the Westwood's hallmark designs. Westwood reimagined the garment to empower women rather than bind them. She was also one of the first designers who styled a corset as an outerwear rather than an innerwear, garnering praise from industry insiders and fashion critics alike. Lastly, for jewelry, we all know the orb accessories of Westwood, which are so famous and definitely their signature. Now, I don't have those, so I am just adding some silver jewelry, hand gloves, and a tie to match the outfit and stay close to the theme. I also added a little headband to tie it all together and threw on as many silver pieces as I could, and that's our final Vivienne Westwood inspired look. Next is Maison Margiela, formerly known as Maison Martin Margiela. It's a French luxury fashion house founded by Belgian designer Martin Margiela and Jenny Merens. The brand is known for its deconstructive avant-garde designs and use of unconventional materials. Margiela has also presented live shows in unusual settings, like empty metro stations and random street corners, really pushing the idea that fashion doesn't have to follow traditional rules. One of their signature details is the use of 4 white stitches at the back of the garment instead of a visible logo, symbolizing anonymity and anti-branding. They also used label numbered 0 to 23, with each number representing a different line under the brand. Coming to the outfits. For this look, I am starting with a white sheer shirt with poofy sleeves. Maison Margiela is known for their use of sheer fabrics, asymmetrical, unconventional, unstructured silhouettes, especially when it comes to shirts and layered items. This piece captures that soft, deconstructed feel they often play with. For the bottom, I wanted to reflect their concept of recycling and repurposing different garments, so I turned 2 shirts into a DIY skirt. Margiela is known for reimagining everyday clothing items into something completely new, like coats turned into skirts or jeans into jackets. I also layered a plain white skirt underneath to add a bit more volume and structure. Next, I added 2 belts, one brown and one in a white check print, as a nod to the way they often incorporate unexpected layering objects like bells, ropes, and harnesses into their looks. To tie in more of the checkered detail, I added a white checkered bag. I also added hand warmers as a subtle extra layer, and finally, one of their most recognizable runway signatures is covering the model's face or head, usually to shift focus onto the clothing itself. So to reflect that, I used a white lace piece to cover my eyes, just enough to hint that concept. And that's our final Maison Margiela look. Next we have Alexander McQueen or Lee Alexander McQueen. He was a British fashion designer known for his dark, theatrical, and emotionally intense designs. He started as a tailor. He later founded his own Alexander McQueen label in 1992 and was chief designer at Givenchy from 1996 to 2001. He was close to Isabella Blow, who helped launch his career. His shows often featured disturbing, death-inspired themes, blending performance art with fashion. For my outfit, we are not using any specific design element by Alexander McQueen, but instead I am recreating one of the most majestic runway moments in fashion history. It happened during McQueen's Spring-Summer 1999 show, where model Shalom Harlow stood on a rotating platform wearing a plain white dress and was spray painted live by robotic arms. To pay tribute to that moment, I have styled two white skirts together to mimic the silhouette of the original dress. I am adding a belt, just like she wore, now instead of actual spray paint. I am using scarves to represent the painted colors, yellow on one side, blue on the other, and green in the middle, symbolizing how yellow and blue mix to create green. Now if you guys actually want me to spray paint my dress, let me know, I might actually do it. That's it. A simple recreation, more of a visual tribute than a replica to honor that powerful McQueen moment. We are now on to our last and final designer, someone it's only natural for me to mention since I am Indian and Bengali. You might know who I'm talking about. It is Sewphoria Mukherjee. He is an Indian fashion designer, jewelry designer from Kolkata, West Bengal, India. He is one of the associate designer members of Fashion Design Council of India and the youngest board member of the National Museum of Indian Cinema. He has designed costumes for Bollywood films such as Guzarish, Babel, Ravan, and English Winglish. Sabyasachi's design philosophy is the personalized imperfection of the human hands. Deserts, gypsies, antique textiles, and cultural traditions of his hometown, Kolkata, have been a lifelong inspiration for this designer, who believes that clothes should just be an extension of one's intellect. Sabyasachi is especially famous for Indian bridal wear. His signature style is characterized by a blend of traditional Indian craftsmanship with modern silhouettes and a focus on timeless elegance. Also, the symbol of Sabyasachi is the Bengal tiger. Now for my outfit, it's only reasonable that we style a sari, but of course we are giving it a modern twist because that's a signature Sabyasachi move as well. Especially in his recent collections, he's been mixing traditional saris with modern elements, adding a twist to contemporary silhouettes. New Sabyasachi looks have iconic designs that are deeply rooted in Indian culture, using Indian stitching techniques, designs, but the clothing itself is modern or western. So for our version, we are taking this sari that I found in my mom's closet and we are pairing it with a formal western shirt to add that contrast. I tried my best to drape the sari, not a pro at it yet, but we are learning. For jewelry, I got whatever I could find in my mom's collection. We pulled out every necklace, ring, bracelet, everything we could and layered it up because Sabyasachi jewelry is all about that opulence. His pieces are luxurious, deeply Indian, bridal, and so intricately detailed. And to finish it all off, we are adding this portly bag that's covered in mirror work. And there you go, that's our final Sabyasachi look. Alright loves, that was it for the video. Let me know your views in the comments, and if this video reaches 100 likes, I'll make a part 2 and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye!